Hey, what's up, nerds? I'm Chris, and I want to help you get beautiful recordings. In this video, I'm not just going to talk about best case scenario sibilance. You know those projects that don't have it all that bad? This video is going to be an advanced masterclass on how to fix the worst cases of sibilance. We're going to break the sibilance into 3 separate frequency ranges. Compare that to the volume baseline of the sibilance signal, which is right around here.
You shine in the shade.
So whenever you have harmonies, you need to de-ess the bejeebers out of those harmonies. This is not a simple solution. If you're just looking for a quick fix, a simple solution, just use a regular de-esser plugin. But I'll tell you what, Neil Armstrong didn't just jump in a rocket, hit the blast off button and hope to get lucky. So if you're hoping to get lucky, I'm not your guy. This is going to require some practice and some ear training to get really good at it. But in the end, it's going to be worth it because your projects are going to turn out better. So because this is an advanced tutorial, I'm going to assume you already know how to use a basic de-esser plugin because that's part of this technique. And if you don't know how to use a basic de-esser plugin, then that's fine, but I would suggest you watch my other video first on how to use a de-esser. I came up with this method on my own because I got frustrated with de-esser plugins that just weren't quite getting the results that I wanted to achieve. And now I use this method on probably about 75% of the songs that I mix. It took me years to come up with this technique and refine my workflow, and I'm going to give it all to you in this 20-minute video. So buckle up, here we go. With EQ, quite often we boost the treble on vocals. In the frequency range of sibilance, which is primarily between 6 kHz and 10 kHz, there's not a very high level of volume for the main sound, but when sibilance comes in on S's and T's and stuff, it's disproportionately louder than the rest of the signal. And when we boost the treble, what happens is that sibilance gets multiplied and it just gets out of hand. So let's take a look at the project I got loaded up and give it a listen.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stare.
All right, as you can hear, that sibilance is a little bit bad. So right now I don't have any de-essing on that. Now, as a starting point, I'm just going to use a regular de-essing plugin, and that'll reduce the sibilance quite a bit. So de-esser, turn that on.
You shine in the shade.
There we go, you can see the reduction there.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Okay, so that's already quite a bit better, but it's not even close to perfect. Now I could add another de-esser plugin after this one, and that might reduce it a little bit more, but it's not going to get us to where we need to be. Because each successive de-essing plugin has less sibilance going into it, and so it can't work as effectively. You see, when I first started out, I didn't have anybody that was there to help me. I didn't have anyone to ask questions to. It took me years to learn all this stuff, way longer than it should have. So if you want me to be that person for you who helps you out, join my Facebook group. It's called Get.Pro.Recordings. You can ask any questions you want there, and I will do my best to help you out. A lonely 90-year-old man cycled for 66 seconds. Let's look at this frequency response graph. The first part of this sentence has no sibilance, and the second part has lots of sibilance. The majority of the sibilance is in the frequency range of 6 to 10 kHz. Here's what just that frequency range sounds like. But there's still some sibilance above and below that range. Here's what the frequency range of 1 to 6 kHz sounds like. A lonely 90-year-old man cycled for 66 seconds. And here's what the frequency range of 10 to 20 kHz sounds like. The first part of this sentence is all non-sibilant signal. Let's look at how much of these frequencies are present in this non-sibilant part. Okay, we can see the volume baseline for the non-sibilant signal is right around here. Compare that to the volume baseline of the sibilant signal, which is right around here. A de-esser plugin works by using this difference to compress just that frequency range. So because a de-esser plugin uses compression and you have to set it to a threshold, it's not possible to reduce the sibilance to become a lower volume than the non-sibilant signal. So this is why we need more powerful de-essing, and this can be done with side chaining. So here's our lead vocal track. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new audio track. I'm going to copy this vocal track and paste it onto the new track that I just created. There we go, boom. I'll solo it as well so that they're both playing. I'm also going to delete the first little section of this. I'll show you why I'm doing that later. Boom, delete. Now what I'm going to do with this newly created track is really make it so that the sibilance stands out. So I'm going to instantiate an EQ with a low cut filter with as steep of a curve as I can get. And I'm going to bring that up to 6 kilohertz right there. And I'm going to put a high cut filter on there and put that right there at 10 kilohertz and go as steep as I can. Boom. Now the only thing coming through on this track is the sibilance. Yeah, so that doesn't sound very good. We definitely don't want that added to the mix. So we're going to set our output to a bus. I like to use just bus 256. It's the last one available. And then I set the output of the bus to no output. Let's go no output. You could also just mute the bus. Either way, the goal is for this track to be playing internally in the DAW, but not coming through in the mix. And then this track is just going to be used to trigger the de-esser plugins. However, I'm not aware of any de-esser plugins available that have sidechaining capabilities. So we're going to have to make our own de-esser plugin. There's a variety of plugins that'll work. You can use a multiband compressor, a dynamic EQ, or even just a regular compressor if you're in a pinch. But with a regular compressor, you just won't be able to fine-tune the frequencies very well. My favorite plugin to use for this is the TDR Nova. You can just go to their website, tokyodon.net, go to their audio software section, scroll down. They've got the TDR Nova and the TDR Nova GE. The TDR Nova is the free version. This is the paid version. So right here, you got your button for free download. Click that, and you're off to the races. This plugin is a dynamic EQ. It will boost or attenuate specific frequencies based on the volume of that frequency in the input signal. You set the frequency center point by moving the dot side to side, and you can use the Q control to adjust the width of the band. For de-essing, I like to set the attack and release as fast as possible, and the ratio is where you can control if it is going to attenuate or boost and how much. All right, so I'm going to instantiate our TDR Nova plugin here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the side chain to audio Vox lead DS4 because that's the name of this track here that we created for de-essing. And I'm going to start with the first band here. Turn that on. There's our first band. I'll turn the second one off. Now the paid version of this plugin has 4 bands that you can work with. The free version, only 2 of them work. So since I'm using the free version, I've only got 2 bands that I can work with. Now, the reason I had previously deleted the beginning portion of this track is because what I like to do is zoom in on it all the way, or pretty close to all the way. And then I'm just going to nudge this track forward just a few samples here. There we go. That's probably like a millisecond. And what that's going to do is it's going to act kind of like a look ahead feature. So this plugin is going to get triggered just a hair earlier. Now, if you're worried about the release setting releasing just a little bit too early, you can always just increase the release, but I still leave it on the lowest setting possible because I haven't had any issues with this. So I'm going to use this first one to reduce the sibilance as much as possible and make it sound as natural as possible. So I'm going to bring the frequency right up to the predominant sibilant range, and I'm going to make the Q a little bit wider. There we go, nice and wide. So it's covering a broad range of the frequency spectrum. And let's just work with it a little bit here.
You shine in the shade. Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. You shine in the shade. Oh, you shine in the shade.
All right.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
There we go. I don't think I can do any more than that because if I bring the threshold down any lower, then it's going to start reducing the high frequencies of the non-sibilant signal. Okay, so that's it for our first one. Next, I'm going to work with the second band that we have available. Turn that on. Now with this one, I'm going to focus on the higher frequencies. We're going to break the sibilance into 3 separate frequency ranges and make adjustments to the levels of these 3 ranges independently. The bottom range, the predominant range, and the high range. The bottom sibilant range is from 1 to 6 kilohertz. Here's what sibilant sounds like with too much of this frequency range. Cycled for 66 seconds. And here's what it sounds like with too little of this frequency range. Cycled for 66 seconds. The predominant range is between 6 and 10 kilohertz. Here's what too much sibilance in this area sounds like. Cycled for 66 seconds. And here's what it sounds like with too little of this frequency range. Cycled for 66 seconds. And then the high range is between 10 to 20 kilohertz. Here's what too much of these frequencies sound like. Cycled for 66 seconds. And here's what it sounds like with too little of these frequencies. Cycled for 66 seconds. So we're going to be adjusting and attenuating each of these three frequency ranges independently. And we're going to need to use our ears to get just the right balance. So I'm going to bring that up to the high frequency range. I'll just bring it right up to 20 kilohertz. I'm going to turn the first one off so that we can just see what this one is doing by itself.
You shine in the shade.
Okay, let's bring that threshold down.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
There we go.
You shine in the...
And
you shine in the shade.
And that's overlapping our other one quite a bit. I want to make it a little narrower. Let's try that.
You shine in the shade. Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
There we go. That's sounding pretty good.
You shine in the shade.
Okay, so let's hear with both of these together. I've got both of them turned on now.
You shine in the shade.
And let's compare without this.
You shine in the shade.
And with.
You shine in the shade.
Okay, so it's doing a little bit, but not much. What we can do, I'm just going to copy and paste this plugin and instantiate another one of it.
You shine in the shade.
There, now compare that to without either of these.
You shine in the shade.
Turn them on.
You shine in the shade.
See, that's already reduced the sibilance significantly. Now what I'm going to do is instantiate another TDR Nova plugin. And now we're just going to focus on the lower frequencies. So I'm going to turn number one on. So the lower frequencies of sibilance is between 1 and 6 kilohertz. So I'm going to bring that right up into there. I'm going to narrow the Q.
You shine in the shade.
Oh, don't forget to set your side chain so that it's triggered by our de-essing track.
You shine in the shade.
Okay, bring the threshold down.
You shine in the shade. You shine in the shade. You shine in the shade.
Yeah, I'm going to widen the Q a little.
You shine in the shade. You shine in the shade.
So if you look at this plugin, how far it dips down. So you saw it dip down to right about there. You can follow this line and see, okay, so that dipped down to -6. So it reduced the frequency at 2 kilohertz by 6 decibels.
You shine in the shade.
So let's listen without that one.
You shine in the shade. You shine in the shade.
Yeah, that did make it a little better. I'm going to copy and paste this just to double up on its effect. There we go. So now we've got 2 of them.
You shine in the shade.
There we go. That's actually sounding a lot smoother now.
You shine in the shade.
It's almost too much. Let's take a listen to the sibilance in this other spot here.
Gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
See, it's actually reducing the sibilance by just a little bit too much, but at least it's still sounding natural.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. And day after day, watch the hills take my little blue moon away.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that one out. Let's just go with 2 of these. So now I've just got my original one with these 2 bands active, and then the second one with the lower frequency band active. Let's see how it sounds on the remaining sibilant parts there.
Gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. And day after day, watch the hills take my little blue moon away.
See, that's actually sounding really good there, just like that. I can instantiate this other one where I doubled up on the low frequencies. So now there's 2 of them instantiated on the low frequencies.
Yeah.
Let's hear how that sounds.
Moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. And day after day, watch the hills take my little blue moon away.
Yeah, I think that's sounding pretty nice there now, but we're not done yet. Because of the changes in the voice throughout the song, there's going to be some sibilance here and there that these settings just don't work perfect for. For these pesky little sibilant troublemakers, we're going to instantiate another TDR Nova plugin, and we're going to use automation. See, they should be at least pretty close and only require very subtle touch-ups. So, let's delete these windows. TDR Nova, mono. All right, and this is going to be a fairly high frequency and fairly broad. Don't forget to set your side chain. So I noticed earlier it wasn't sounding too good on right here.
You shine in the shade. You brighten my moon. You shine in the shade.
Okay, I'm going to bring the threshold down. I want to make it sound good on that one.
You shine in the shade.
Bring that threshold right down.
You shine in the shade. You shine in the shade.
There you go. I got that one sounding good. So let's get our automation opened up. TDR Nova. And I forgot which band that was. So let's take a look at the plugin again. So we're on band 2, and we want to set our threshold. All right. So, automation. The last TDR Nova in the chain, band 2, threshold, right there. All right, so I've already manually set this one, so we're good there. And so we're going to bring the threshold up everywhere else so that it's not being activated anywhere else and just being activated on the ones that we want to touch up a little bit. So we're going to listen through the song and see which ones need just a little bit more help.
You brighten my mood. You shine in the shade. Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through the whole song and automate any other little sibilant spots that need it. But let's just compare that to what it sounded like without any de-essing. Let's take all these de-essers out and listen to that again.
You brighten my mood. You shine in the shade. Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Yeah, you can really hear it there, hey?
You've gone away, so tonight.
Like, listen to that sibilance. It's horrible without any of the de-esser plugins.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay. No.
Okay, and I'll turn those de-esser plugins back on, except for that one.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay. No way.
And then the last thing you might want to do if you're struggling to get a natural sound and figure out the balance of which frequencies need to be attenuated and how much, you can instantiate another, you guessed it, another TDR Nova plugin, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So let's put another TDR Nova plugin in here. Sidechain it to our de-essing track. Now this time we're going to do something a little different with it. This one isn't intended to de-ess, it's intended to help us hear where the problematic frequencies are. So,
no way, so tonight I'll sit and...
So what we can do is adjust our ratio here. This is our ratio, and right now where I'm on about 2.3 to 1, if we can bring that down, once we're at a ratio of 1 to 1, there we go, we're at a ratio of 1 to 1, it's not doing anything. But if we go down lower than 1 to 1, then it's going to reverse its function and act as an expander rather than a compressor. So it's going to make the sibilance louder in certain areas.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay. No.
Okay, I'll bring the threshold down.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
So if you've reduced the sibilance too much in a specific frequency range, you can just narrow the Q here and boost it and play with different frequencies boosting it.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay. No.
And see if that makes it sound better by getting some of those frequencies back.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
And you've got this band solo as well, so we can listen to just that frequency range of sibilance.
No way, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
So the idea of this last one is just to help you listen for which frequencies you might have taken a little bit too much of the sibilance out of. So whenever you have harmonies that are singing along with the lead vocal, you need to de-ess the bejeebers out of those harmonies, because the sibilance from the harmonies won't be distinguishable from the sibilance from the lead vocal. It'll just sound like it's the lead vocal being overly sibilant. So I like to go overboard de-essing the harmonies because they're just in the background. You're not going to hear that the S's were taken away too much. Here I've got my track of harmonies. Let's take a look at what I've got here. There's two harmony tracks, harmony 1 and harmony 2, and I've got them hard panned left and right. These other two tracks there, these are just copies of harmony 1 and harmony 2 for the de-essing. So let's give it a listen. Here's our lead vocal.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Let's listen to that in the mix. I'm going to mute the harmonies for now, and then I'll add them in.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. Oh.
Okay, so that sibilance sounds pretty good, but now I'm going to bring the harmonies in, and you'll see how that sibilance just becomes too much.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Yeah, so as you can hear, with the harmonies added, the sibilance becomes too much. So let's go ahead and de-ess the bejeebers out of these harmonies. So I'm going to start by de-essing each individual track here. I've already got the de-essers instantiated. I'm just going to turn them on. So I've got a de-esser plugin, and I've got a compressor. Rather than using the TDR Nova this time, I'm just using a compressor side chained to the de-essing track because I'm not as worried about the balance of frequencies to get it perfect. They're just backgrounds. So let's give it a listen now that I've instantiated these de-esser plugins.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
All right, see, that's already sounding a lot better. Let's listen to the harmonies by themselves.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
So yeah, the sibilance is already definitely under control. But to take it a step farther, I've grouped these two harmonies onto a bus, and I'm going to use the same old trick. I'm going to put a de-esser on the bus, and I've got two TDR Nova plugins instantiated, and they're side chained to the lead vocal de-essing track. Audio, lead vocal de-ess2. Lead vocal de-ess4. There we go. And let's see how it sounds with these additional de-essers on it.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
There, you can hear those S's. You can hear that sibilance really being ducked down. It's overkill, but that's what I want. We'll listen to it again.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Let's listen to that with the lead vocal.
You've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay.
Yeah, see, that's sounding really nice. All I'm hearing is the sibilance from the lead vocal. And let's hear it in the mix.
Oh, my little blue moon, you've gone away, so tonight I'll sit and stay. Oh.
There we go. I think that's sounding a lot better now. So, to summarize, step 1. Create a de-ess track by doubling the vocal and cut out everything except for the frequency range between 6 to 10 kilohertz. Set that track's output to a bus and mute the bus. Step 2. Nudge the de-ess track ahead by about 1 millisecond. Step 3. Use a regular de-esser plugin to reduce the sibilance. Step 4. Instantiate the first TDR Nova plugin or any other dynamic EQ or multiband compressor with sidechain capabilities and sidechain it to the de-ess track. Use this first instance to attenuate the predominant sibilance range between 6 to 10 kilohertz. Step 5. Initiate another TDR Nova, sidechain to the de-ess track, and set it to attenuate the high frequencies from 10 to 20 kilohertz. Step 6. Instantiate another TDR Nova plugin, sidechain to the de-ess track, and set it to attenuate the lower frequencies from 1 to 6 kilohertz. Step 7. Instantiate another TDR Nova plugin, sidechain to the de-ess track, and use automation to catch any stray sibilances that didn't quite sound perfect with the main settings. Step 8. Instantiate another TDR Nova plugin, sidechain to the de-ess track, and set the ratio below 1 so that it's increasing the volume, and experiment with different frequencies, and that'll reveal if you've taken out too much of any specific frequency. So if you learned anything in this video, you might want to head over to my channel, take a look at my other videos. Some of them might interest you. I've got lots more videos coming on like gear reviews, recording, mixing and mastering. So make sure you subscribe to this channel if that interests you, and I'll see you in the next video.